in 2019, I discussed having an interview show on Medfield TV with Brett Poyer. Brett supported me in achieving my idea. My first guest was my state representative, Denise Garlick. Denise is retiring in January as state rep after finishing her 7th term, and will be a guest for my second time in what will be the 37th episode of Special Times with Peter Filosa. Hello, Denise.
Hi, Peter.
How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. Glad to be here with you.
Why did you decide to retire as our state representative?
So I think it's time for me in this service, Peter. You may remember that I'm a registered nurse, and I was a nurse for more than 40 years before I ever ran to be the state representative. And now I have served more than 7 terms. I'm at this wonderful stage in my life where I had 4 grandchildren in 3 years. And I thought if I'm going to get another chapter in my life, I wanted to start now. So I'm not leaving being the state rep. I'm just moving on to a new chapter in my life.
What is your proudest moment as state representative?
So, Peter, there's many things that I could talk to you about. I could talk to you about legislation that I helped to author and was passed on the floor of the House of Representatives and became law, like the opioid bill. I could talk to you about important strategic initiatives I was involved in related to the children in the care of the Department of Children and Families under DCF. I could talk about the work I do on the present commission on the status of individuals with disabilities. But I'll tell you my proudest moment. When I first got elected, Peter, I said, I'm going to do an annual report in all of the 3 towns that I represent. I represent Needham, Dover, and Medfield every year. And I'm going to report back to the people that have sent me to do a job. And my friend said to me that I trusted a lot, don't say that, Denise. You'll never be able to do that. And this past year, in February, I completed my 39th annual report. 13 communities, right? 13 times, 3 communities, 39 times. And I thought to myself, it was my personal proudest moment. I have kept my word to the people that I represent.
What was your most important work as a state rep, both overall and for the citizens of Medfield?
Sure. So I want to talk about my most important work overall for Medfield and then how I think that translates. The most important overall work for Medfield was to be a true and authentic voice for the issues and the concerns of the people in Medfield, right? And that translated into a very specific activity. When I was newly elected, I served with Senator James Timilty. Jim Timilty was also representing Medfield. And together, we brought forward the operative legislation that allowed the town to be able to purchase the Medfield State Hospital property. That work had been ongoing for years before us, but we never had the right language to make it happen in a way that was meaningful for Medfield. That's really important work. That changes the it changes the town in significant ways that are very, very important to the town. And that work is ongoing. The town has been united in their vision for what they want for that property to be. They are united in their sense of the quality of life that it will bring to Medfield. And I thought that being that voice, making sure that legislation happened, and then staying with the town as they have each and every work done meaningful work, I think has been very, very important.
What does it take to be an effective state rep?
I there are many ways to be a state rep, right? There's 160 state representatives. There are 160 ways to do this job. So I can only talk to you about the way I do it, right? And you may know that it's a couple of jobs all rolled into one. Part of it is being within the State House and working on public policy and working on the issues related to the budget. And I've done that and I've held leadership positions in those areas. An important part is being in the community. Now, Peter, you and I are friends, and we have been friends for a very long time. And
Yep.
it's because you and I know each other in Medfield, right? I'm not a phone call for you. I'm the person that you stood on the street corner and held campaign signs with. I'm the person who sees you at Medfield Days. I'm the person who sees you in some of the community events that we do. I think that's an incredibly important part of being a state representative is being present. You know, you can't listen to people or say you listen to people if you can't hear them. And to really hear them, you have to be with them. I think that's a very important part of being a state representative.
It's been the honor of my life, Denise, to be your friend.
Thank you, Peter. I am very humbled that you would use the word honor. You know, I would like to think that I have been a good friend to you. I am very proud of our friendship. I cherish our friendship, Peter.
And I'm happy for you that you're retiring, and I wish you the best of luck with everything. And I hope we could stay in touch. And
So I think that will happen, Peter. And you know, um, I'm 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 not going to be in this position, but I'm going to be in our communities. And I'm still going to be, you know, one of the important things that happens when you're the state representative is not just the ability to do the job, but to really develop friendships, to work with people on issues that are meaningful to them. The work that we've done with the Medfield Housing Authority and Tilden Village and the people there who are the commissioners who are donating their time, the ability to have a genuine friendship with the town administrator, to know who's on the select board. Those things are part of the job, but then the friendship and the support transcends that. The people in the community that I know and love, like you, Peter, you know, those are friendships. They don't end when the job ends. Those are real friendships, and those I expect to continue, and I want to have continue.
and a job coach company is coming to meet me at my parents' house in Medfield on Friday morning.
So I want to congratulate you, Peter, on the job, and it gives me a chance to share with you. I am the elected chair of a permanent funded commission on the status of individuals with disabilities. It's actually an independent state agency. The most important work we have done in the last 3 years has all been around employability for people, right? To be successful in life, people need to have good housing and a good job, right? And if you
Yeah,
have those two things, you can make the other things in your life work. That you have secured this new job
yep,
is makes me very, very hopeful and positive about your future. And
yeah.
I want for there are many, many people who want to work that can't get jobs. And I want to dedicate my time in the future to helping people who want to work, who need a job coach, need to be thinking about transportation, all those things that can make their work life successful, helping that to happen.
What are the key steps in handing off your position to your successor, Josh Tarski?
So I'm meeting with Representative Lefkowski on Thursday afternoon, and I will do anything that he thinks is helpful to him. You know, there's many issues in our communities in Needham, in Dover, in Medfield that are ongoing work and has been work over the years. So I think to share with them the history of that and who the people that are helping to move that issue that might be something he wants to know more about. I'm sure he wants to know a little bit about the inside baseball at the State House. I'm happy to share those issues as well. And Representative Latowski's success is our success. I want him to be successful.
Sean Dooley and Marcus Vaughn were the two state reps for the 9th Norfolk, representing precincts 3 and 4 in Medfield, while the represented the 13th Norfolk, which includes Medfield precincts 1 and 2. Both are Republicans. Were you able to collaborate effectively with them?
Yes, very much so, Peter. And Richard Ross was the state senator when I first became the state representative. He was a Republican as well. Both Sean Dooley and Marcus Vaughn have been extraordinarily good to work with. And that's because, Peter, the issues that relate to our community, the Medfield State Hospital property, the Medfield Housing Authority, the issues related to how we are meeting the needs of the Medfield schools, the money that we give for the roads and bridges, the important money that comes into Medfield related to grants, right? Those aren't partisan issues. That's not about being a Democrat or being a Republican. That's about having teamwork where you have people working together for Medfield. There are issues that can be, what we call partisan issues, Democrat or Republican issues, but that's not what we do as a team. It's not what Marcus Vaughn and I do. It is not what Sean Dooley and I do. It's not what Richard Ross and I did. What we did is we teamed up to bring the very best we could together to the community of Medfield.
Who do you think were the most impressive and effective people who served in state government while you were state representative?
So, Peter, I'm going to give you an answer that I think you might not be expecting, right? Because I think when you think about that question, people's mind immediately goes to, oh, it must be the governor. It must be somebody who holds a high position. It must be some. The most effective people that I have seen and the most successful people that make state government real to people, make it happen for people, are the people that I have worked with on my staff. I have had the opportunity to have incredible staff members. I know that you know of Colin and the work he's done. Many people, when we are in the middle of COVID and people need unemployment money, they can't go back to work. Their workplace is closed. They're told that they can't be there. They don't have a paycheck coming in. They need unemployment. They don't need some big mucky muck to make that happen for them. They need to be able to contact someone in my office and say, can you help me do this? This is something I don't understand. When a person, and this happened in my time, when a person is facing surgery and there's a lapse in their mass health because of a paperwork disruption, right? What they need is someone on my staff who can help them to get through that. When my constituents from Medfield are wrestling with the Registry of Motor Vehicles, it is my staff that makes that happen. So my staff is the closest link, as am I, to the connection between the members of the community and state government. And my staff has made state government work for people. And I think that's what has made them the most successful, the most effective people I've seen in state government.
Do you have big plans for after your retirement from the State House? Will you stay involved with state and local politics?
So I don't have big plans, but I have very good plans. And my very good plans are that, I have a wonderful family. I have 4 grandchildren that I had in 3 years, and they're very little now, and I want to be part of their lives. And I want to be able, Peter, to be engaged in things that I believe are important and meaningful. But I want to do it on my own schedule. So I think that's a good plan. I think it's a good plan to stay engaged, but be able to be on my own schedule. I have loved being the state representative. I have truly loved that. But I have to tell you, Peter, it's a crazy schedule, and it's 7 days a week, and it's evenings, and it's weekends, and it was time away from my family. And I want to reclaim that time and really have this next chapter. I think this is going to be a very precious part of my life.
And I have I'm an uncle myself. My parents have two grandkids. My niece Tenley and Kendall. Tenley's 3.5, and my niece Kendall's one and a half.
So, Peter, just like me, you're seeing how quick that time goes past, right?
Yeah,
And I don't want to be far away from those little ones at a meeting someplace when I could be with them at a playground someplace.
yeah. Um, any thoughts on the recent elections?
So, I want to talk a little bit about the presidential election and what it means. I appreciate that many people have differing opinions and may have voted for one candidate or another. What matters to me is what the impact is on individuals, on our communities, and on our Commonwealth. I think we are looking, as people of Massachusetts, at a very difficult time period coming up. I don't believe that there is going to be a lot of support from the federal government for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the things that we have done and do well, from whether we're talking about public education, our clean energy sector, our biomedical sector, the work that we have done related to human rights, the work we've done on women's reproductive rights. I think we have to understand that all of that is now threatened. And as a Commonwealth, we need to stand together and uphold the values of Massachusetts.
My DDS person, Mike Roberts, is still looking for me for a home, but not still nothing yet.
And you know that housing is the biggest issue in Massachusetts right now, Peter. And it is for you, it's for many people. In every part of the population, we just don't have enough housing for the number of people we have. And it makes it really, really difficult for everyone. And that's something we're all trying to work on. You know that Medfield is working very hard on that issue and trying to build new housing and trying to make sure they have the right housing for as many people as possible. And we have to continue that work. And whether it's a group home, whether it's an apartment that can be rented, whether it's a house that a senior or an older adult in the town can move into, which we call downsizing, or whether it's one of those magnificent houses in Medfield where people are moving in to raise their kids. Whatever that is, we don't have enough of it, Peter, and we have to do better.
Any final thoughts before we go?
So Peter, I guess my final thought is to you and to the people of Medfield is my sincere gratitude. You know, the ability to represent the people of Medfield, to share their issues and concerns, to work on those issues in a meaningful way, to be proud of the community that I represent, to see the community working so hard has been an incredible opportunity in my life. And I am grateful. And my inside story on Medfield is when I first ran, Peter, I was the underdog. I wasn't the person expected to win. And I split my hometown when they said I couldn't get any votes in my hometown. I split my hometown, but the town that brought me over the top, the town that made me the state representative was Medfield. And I have always carried that in my heart. Medfield is very dear to me. The people of Medfield are important to me. And the friendships that I've made in Medfield, I cherish.
We wish to thank Denise for her 14 years of service to the 13th Norfolk District and the people of Medfield. We thank her for her 2 appearances on Special Times with Peter Filosa and wish her much happiness in the future. Stay tuned for future episodes of Special Times with Peter Filosa. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Peter. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.